Good morning, students. Welcome back to the e-learning platform of the GS College of Commerce, Wardha. Today we are going to see the monetary economics. Under the monetary economics, we are going to see the monetary policy and the fiscal policy. In the earlier videos, we have seen the certain beginning part of the monetary policy and the fiscal policy, which I explained a brief. Whereby we have seen basically in the earlier videos, we have seen the definition of the monetary policy. Similarly, definition of the monetary policy as well as the expansionary monetary policy and the contractionary monetary policy. Simultaneously, the role or the importance of the monetary policy. Today we are going to see the impacts of monetary policy. So, as I told earlier, the monetary policy basically the policy of the central bank, which is in the form of the quantitative measures and the qualitative measures. These quantitative and the qualitative measures are taken by the central bank to control the money supply as well as the credit in the economy. We have seen earlier basically why so the monetary and the fiscal policy is required. Basically, the monetary and the fiscal policy is required for maintaining the money supply as well as for the credit. So, whatever the monetary policy, this policy has a great impact on the different variables of the economy. We have seen the expansionary monetary policy. What is the expansionary monetary policy? Expansionary monetary policy is the policy whereby the rate of interest is reduced and the money supply has increased in the economy. Similarly, contractionary monetary policy is the opposite of the expansionary monetary policy. So basically, if you talk about the monetary policy, it is overall the game of interest rates, the increase in the interest rates and the decrease in the interest rates. Via the interest rates variation, the central bank basically implements the monetary policy. Okay, and these interest rates variation has a great impact on the different variables of the economy. Let's see what are the impacts. The first one over there is impact on the money supply. Impact on the money supply: if the interest rates is lowered by the central bank, it will have the effect that the money supply will increase. Money supply will increase, and when the money supply will increase, it will have the demand, it will have the effect on the aggregate demand also. Aggregate demand as well as the investment and the other variables of the economy. So as far as the money supply is concerned, basically the expansionary and the contractionary monetary policy has the impact on the money supply. So if the rate of interest is lower by the central bank, it will increase the money supply, and the vice versa will happen. The second one is their impact on the price and the economic stability. See, we have seen the inflation and deflation. Okay, similarly we have seen the quantity theory of money. All this stuff are basically related with the money supply and its money supply. So basically money supply has the great impact on the price and the economic stability, because the price is affected by the money supply. More larger the money supply, it will have the effect on the money supply. Larger the money supply, it will have the effect on the price also. The lower the money supply, it will have the effect on the price and the economic stability. So if we are talking about the impact on the price of the monetary policy basically, and if in that context, if we will see the contractionary monetary policy. What is the contractionary monetary policy? The policy whereby the rate of interest is basically increased. So as a result of that, when the rate of interest will increase, as a result, what we will find, the money supply will reduce. When the money supply will reduce, it will have further impact on the reduce in the aggregate demand and the supply as well as the price. Similarly, when we are talking about the expansionary monetary policy, the expansionary monetary policy basically is the policy whereby the rate of interest is low. So, when the expansionary monetary policy is adopted by the central bank, as a result, what we'll find, the money supply will increase. Increase in the money supply will have the positive impact on the demand. The demand will also increase, the aggregate demand will also increase. When the aggregate demand will increase, what will happen? Aggregate demand will increase, what will happen? Basically, aggregate demand will push up the price level also. Okay? So basically, this contractionary and the expansionary monetary policy have the effect on the price as well as the economic stability. You will find its impact when we are finding the impact on the price of the certain goods or the general price level. It will have you will see its effect on the inflation as well as deflation. Similarly, the impact on the rate of interest and the economic growth. Basically, the high interest rates provides basically the incentive for the higher saving. When saying that interest rates are increased, when the interest rates are increased, it attracts the people to save more, because higher interest rates it attracts the individual for the more saving. If you are getting that 3% rate of interest, you will save less. But if you will get the 10% rate of interest or 8% rate of interest, you will try to save more. So basically what happens, when the rate of interest is increased, the saving got attracted. So incentive to the higher savings. When there is a higher savings, basically what will it will have the effect? It will have further effects on the banking habits of the people. The monetization of the economy will take place. Similarly, it will have the effect on the capital formation. Okay, and this capital formation is basically necessary for the economic growth. Larger the capital formation, there will be the more economic growth in the economy. Basically, if we talk about the developing countries suffer with the problem of the lower capital formation. Why so the lower capital formation? Because here the unemployment level prevail. Higher the unemployment level, the lower the savings and lower the income as well as lower saving actually causes the lower capital formation in the developing countries. That's why it is very necessary that the capital formation should be more. When the capital formation is more, it will boost the economic growth. So you will find the impact on the rate of interest as well as the economic growth. Similarly, impact on the employment. Impact on the employment. See, when the rate of interest is declined or when the rate of interest is decreased, as a result, what we find, the borrowers what we'll find, the borrowers will be attracted with the lower rate of interest. They will borrow the more money. But natural है, what we find in the case of the law of demand, when the certain goods price is more, we demand it less, and when the price is less, we demand it more. Same way, when you are getting the capital, when you are getting the money at a lower rate of interest, you will demand it more. So when the rate of interest will be declined, it will have the effect that the capital will become cheaper. The cost of the capital will also lower, or it will be cheaper for the borrower to borrow the money. And when the borrowing will be increased. Similarly, the people will find that their rate of interest is less. So at the low rate of interest, the people will find it is not very feasible to save the more money. So what will they do? They will increase more money on the consumption. They will save with them, or they will keep the money with them for the consumption purpose. So there will be increase in the household consumption, and household consumption will increase the further will boost up the more production, and when there will be the more production, again there will be the employment, more employment. Okay, so what is happening with the declining in the rate of interest? It will have a chain effect. Okay, the next one is their impact on the balance of payment and the exchange rate. Balance of payment and the exchange rate. Normally we find the countries, developing countries, always suffer with the adverse balance of payment condition. What is balance of payment condition? See, it is actually a statement, it's a financial statement of a country in terms of its receipts and payments. The receipts is made by the country as well as the payment which is made by the country. So the statement of receipts and payment of a country is called the balance of payment. It may be the adverse, it may be the favorable, or it may be the equal also. When we say the payment is more as compared to the receipts, the country is suffering with the adverse balance of payment condition, because the country has to pay the more money as compared to the receipts, whatever the country is going to receive. But if the country is having more receipts and lesser payment, then the country is having basically the favorable balance of payment. What we find, the developing countries normally suffer with the problem of the adverse balance of payment. Why so? Why so it happens? It happens because the developing countries needs the more capital equipments for meeting their development requirement, and for that purpose they have to buy these capital equipments or capital goods from the other nation, and they have to make the more payment for it. They have to make the payment, and these developing countries normally have the export of which items of the agriculture produce, which have normally the lesser price in the international market, or lesser demand in the international market, as well as with the price also. So what we find, the receipts are less for the developing countries and the payments are more. So always or maximum time the developing countries suffer with the adverse balance of payment condition. So these monetary policy also have the impact on the balance of payment condition of the country. How? What type of the impact it has? See, the impact on the balance of payment, high interest rates basically attracts the foreign exchange. When in the country the rate of interest is increased, when the rate of interest will increase, what will happen? This will attract the foreigners to invest in such economy where you are getting the more rate of interest. So as a result, what we will find, the inflow of the foreign capital will be there in the country, and these inflow will have the positive effect on the balance of payment. So the adverse balance of payment can be transformed into the favorable or equal balance of payment condition. Similarly, the high interest rates in the country will also increase the demand for that country's currency. And why so? See, in case of the inflow as well as the demand for the currency will increase, and when the demand for the currency will increase, it will again have the favorable effect on the exchange rate of the domestic currency. The country's exchange rate will also increase, or it will somewhat become more stable and more strong as compared to the other country's currency. So The monetary policy also have the impact on the balance of payment condition as well as the exchange rate. Then the next one is their impact on the credit channel. See, when the interest rates will increase, it will have the adverse effect on the credit demand. Basically, see, the decrease in the demand of the credit will take place, and when the credit demand will decrease, it will have the chain effects which I explained earlier in the overall this concept. So the impact of the monetary policy can be seen on the various variable of the economy. These are related with the money supply, these are related with the price as well as economic stability, these are related with the rate of interest as well as the exchange economic growth. Similarly, these are related with the balance of payment as well as the exchange rate. It's also related with the credit channel of the country. So in the next lecture, we will see the different tools which are used under the monetary policy of the central bank. Thank you.